Welcome back to Opinion Journal Live. Well, I'm joined now by our Washington columnist, Kim Strassel in Washington. How you doing, Kim?
I'm well. How are you, Dan?
Good to see you. We're going to talk about how the GOP did in the Senate, and any number of words come to mind to describe the GOP's performance. Debacle, fiasco, or your favorite, just the big fail. What exactly happened? 23 Democratic seats in play. The Republicans got one. What happened to
One.
that?
And meanwhile, they lost 3, Dan, which means that they were actually net 2 down at the end of a cycle in which this should have been some of their biggest pickup opportunities. I would actually place this comes down to a lot to bad candidates. And in that regard, I think there are two sort of parts of this that deserve a little blame. One is the National Republican Senatorial Committee, which did not necessarily exercise as much oversight as it might have in some of these races in recruiting and getting good candidates. And I think the other half of it, though, is the dysfunctional relationship the NRSC has continued to have with these grassroots groups like the Club for Growth, who've not been happy with the NRSC's picks, but on the other hand, have not necessarily done a great job of putting forward candidates who can win states themselves.
Let me jump in there, Kim, because this is something I think people are having a little trouble understanding. The Senatorial Campaign Committee, as you suggest, didn't do such a good job of recruitment. What was their problem? This is party politics. You're supposed to be able to exercise some discipline over your own party. Why were they so reluctant to be more involved?
This traces back, I think, really 2010. The NRSC really missed the boat on this grassroots feeling that was going on out there. And it made the mistake of backing some candidates the Tea Party and other groups just hated. A prime example was Charlie Crist in Florida. When Marco Rubio was running, everyone wanted Marco Rubio to be the guy who'd get it, not Charlie Crist, but they backed Charlie Crist. The blowback from this was so huge that the NRSC made a decision. They said, whenever there is an open seat primary, when we don't have an incumbent running for re-election, we are not going to get engaged in the primary process. We will not choose someone. We will not forward someone. As a result, though, this has left a lot of anarchy out there in some of these races, and it really has led to lowest common denominator candidates.
Have you had any indication that either side, the Senatorial Committee or the grassroots groups, understand that they have to sort of have a come-to-Jesus meeting and sort this out?
I think that there is a growing awareness out there, but I think you have some problems. Look, I think the NRSC is probably going to be more aggressive now about trying to recruit candidates and get people, and hopefully they'll try to get some buy-in from these outside groups. I think one of the problems that you have, though, with these outside groups is, look, they get their promotion, they get their money and donations by going out there and getting scalps and sort of going after some Republicans that they feel are old or dead weight or not good in the party. And so in a certain way, I mean, this is not necessarily always bad. Primaries and competitive elections are good, but they also have just basically a kind of a reason for existence to go out there and stir up some of these races. So I don't know how necessarily they're all going to get along in the end.
Very briefly, Kim, a ray of light. They did very well and have done well at the level of the governorships. Why are they doing so well with the governors and not in these other areas?
Look, I think because in state governorship, some of the best candidates really do rise to the top, and they go through competitive primary processes, and they also are running on good, strong ideas out there. And I think that does show the Republicans can win in these states, obviously, but you have to have a candidate who knows how to send the message out there.